Hello, this is Drag Attack, and this is Plus Profile number 37. A Plus Profile is where I take fans of the upcoming MMORPG Pantheon Rise of the Fallen, and I have them go back through all their stories and all the adventures they have in past MMOs and ask them questions about what they're looking forward to in the upcoming MMO Pantheon Rise of the Fallen. Today, we have Adimarchus. He's a guild member of mine, and I've gotten to know him a little bit, but I don't know a lot about him, so I'm really excited for this profile. Onward and upward.
Adimarchus. Hey, Adimarchus, Adimarchus, I'll answer to anything. Well, what else is there besides a gnome summoner? That's the best, right? I have a gaming group of buddies that I meet with on the weekends, and we had all played EverQuest back in the day, and just on a whim, he said, "Hey, have you heard this new game that the guys that did EverQuest are doing?" And I'm like, "No." He's like, "Yeah, it's called Gods or Pantheon or something like that. You should look it up." So I did. I went and I Google searched it. I looked it up. I read everything on the website, and I'm like, "Okay, I'm sold." And so I did an initial pledge then, pretty much the same day. And I've been following it ever since. Of course, I'm going to be in the Plus Guild, because we're all Plus. If I went by time played, I'd have to say EverQuest 2. I played that for a pretty long time. I really liked Shadow Knights from EverQuest, and the Shadow Knights in EQ2. They were a little rough to begin with, but after a few years, they were just really fun to play. So I played that one. I'd probably say to this day it's probably still my overall favorite, though I've been playing some other stuff. I did start playing WoW around 2006, and I probably have played that maybe a little longer than I played EverQuest 2. I wouldn't say it's my favorite, though. I'll never admit that on tape. During Legion, the guild I was in, we were working on progress through the final raid zone there in Antorus. And we had been banging our heads against this boss called Kilgarath for quite a while. And he does all kinds of crazy stuff. He shoots a beam around in a circle that, if you stand in it for more than 2 ticks, you're dead. He spawns these regular bosses at intervals, or mini bosses at intervals you have to burn down so that you can damage him again. And we just were not getting it. And then all of a sudden, we just had this perfect run where only a couple people had died. We did everything correctly, and we got him down. And that was. It was almost a fluke, but it was a fun fluke and a welcomed fluke after a couple of weeks of no movement. That was a good one. Probably the most fun I'd had in a raid before or since. That was a good team. Well, I would have used that one for difficult, but there's another fight in that same zone called the Coven, where you have these 3 demoness casters that have various stages, and they cover the entire floor and stuff. And then at some point there's this phase where these walls of moving people march across the screen from all 4 cardinal directions, and you've got to figure out where to be, what you're supposed to be doing, and anything you can possibly do with your character to try to group those things up. And that one took us quite a while to get through, and it was so difficult. We only beat it on heroic once, and we never went back. We're like, screw this. we'll skip them every time. PvE. There's only been a couple of games that I've enjoyed PvP in. One of them was Warhammer Age of Reckoning, because it was there was purpose to it. You had 2 factions that in key points at certain zones, they fought over things. I really like that, but I'm more of a story-focused player, and unfortunately that means PvE for most, if not all, MMOs that I've ever played. So I enjoy going through the story and seeing how things play out. Just doing PvP for PvP's sake has never been something I find enjoyable. I am an altaholic. I find that I can only spend so much time, whether it's weeks or months, playing a specific character, and then for a change of pace, or if I see another character doing something cool that's not the class that I'm playing, I'm like, I'm gonna go see what that's all about, and then I'll roll that. In Pantheon, I'm hoping to break that, and I'm going to stick with the Gnome Summoner until cap. No promises, but that's a goal. I don't usually. The only time I've ever broken that rule is in World of Warcraft. I found myself playing a hunter somewhere through Cataclysm, and I found that being a skinner and a leatherworker was almost an entire experience that I could do at my own pace without having to do a whole lot of anything else. So I just found myself going through the content, killing skinnable things, and making stuff out of it for other characters. And it wasn't really something I enjoyed, but it was something that I could do with the mats that I had farmed from killing monsters or killing beasts and sell them on the auction house for profit. Now, granted, WoW does not have the most robust crafting system, so it's not like it took a whole lot of effort or anything. But like in games like EverQuest, I had buddies that did the whole raise everything to cap and get these extra abilities, and I was just like, there's no way. There's no way I'm going to spend that much time doing that. It's not for me. So, no, I'm not really a crafter, but if it's convenient and it aligns with what I'm currently doing, then yeah, sure. Not so much anymore. I used to drink Mountain Dew quite a bit while I was gaming, and I used to eat a little candy or whatever. I don't do much of that anymore. Now it's just a warm cup of tea and maybe some nuts or pretzels. That's about it. don't have anything that's like a superstitious socks or something, or I got to eat this for success or drink this for success. I could go for a tea. I'll make some tea. I'll go sit down and I'll play. Well, normally I'd say monitor. Like those things can make quite a big difference, especially back when we were playing on VGAs. When they first came out with these flat screen high def monitors, it's like, oh man, and they're light. But nowadays I'd have to go with solid state drive. That seems to make all the difference in the world these days, is how fast you can pull that stuff up. I don't have like a specific gaming mouse or a specific gaming keyboard. Probably will rub some people the wrong way, but I'm more of a clicker than a key binder. So I don't have these fancy keyboards or anything, and a regular mouse with maybe an extra button or two works just fine for me. Nope. I haven't been on Facebook for probably 2.5 years, and I dumped Twitter earlier this year. So I don't really have anything on social media. The only kind of social stuff I do anymore is either in-game or on Discord. I'm really looking forward to where the alpha ends up for Pantheon. I've heard a lot of stuff in some roundtables, and it looks good. Joppa seems very excited about where their networking stuff is going. He's talked a lot about some difficult systems that they've been working on character-wise and mechanics-wise that they seem to be just chugging right through. And I can't wait to see what they come up with next. How about I'd say November. Go with November 15th, 2023.